essentially, in this lesson, there's one main key rule, which is essential to all of Arabic. Just like how we mentioned that the mudaf and mudaf ilayhi is very important. This is, you could say, this is the other rule that's very important for Madinah Book 1, as in you have to know it because it's just constantly seen, which is na'at. Actually, let me write again. Na'at and man'ut. Write in Arabic as well. Man'ut, like that. So in Arabic it will be na'atun and man'ut. So na'at means adjective. So essentially we're learning about adjectives today. And man'ut is the word that's being described. So I'll say described word. That's number one. Let's write an example of a adjective in a sentence. I'll say هذا كتاب كبير. هذا كتاب كبير. So this word here is the na'at, is the adjective. So one interesting thing in Arabic is that the adjectives come after the word, whereas obviously in English comes first, like the big cat, for example. Now, for a word to be an adjective, it has to follow four rules. Four rules. Very important. The first rule is that it has to, or in all the four rules, it has to follow. So it has to follow, as in the word that's being described. Sorry, no, not the word. The adjective needs to follow the word that is being described. So essentially, the first one is, it follows in al. What do I mean follows in al? If kitab, in our example, kitab, if kitab has al, therefore the adjective has to have al. If kitab does not have al, therefore the adjective cannot have al for it to be an adjective. Okay, so for it to be an adjective, they both have to have al if it has al, if the original word has al or not. In our case, kitabun is the original word and kitabun doesn't have al, therefore the adjective cannot have al. That's number one. Number two, it follows in state. What do I mean by that? If the original word is marfu', then the adjective has to be marfu'. If the original word is mansub, then the adjective has to be mansub, and so on and so forth. Third one, oops. Wait, are we live? I just need to check. Bear with me. Yep, we're live. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, it follows in number. So if the first word is a mufrad, if the original word is a mufrad, a singular word, like in our case, kitab. Kitab is one book, right? Then the adjective has to also be mufrad as well. So the adjective has to also be singular. If the original word is jewel, when I say jewel, I mean this word. Sometimes it's a bit hard to understand my accent, but jewel, as in two, then also the adjective has to be jewel. If it's plural in Arabic, that's two or that's more than two. If the original word is plural, then the adjective has to also be plural. Tamam. Hold on, where's the chat box gone? Okay. And the last one is follows in gender. So for example, in our case, kitab is masculine. Therefore, the adjective has to be masculine. And if the original word was feminine, then the adjective has to also be feminine. If one of those four is not found within the adjective, then it's no longer an adjective. Very important. So let's write another example. So if I have the word fi now, fi. I have to say fi kitabin because of fi, right? Because of half a jar. Therefore, when I write the adjective, let's use kabirin again, would say kabirin this time. Oops, that is a mistake as well. Why do I say kabirin? It's because the original word, let's cross that out, do it again. The original word is majroor. Therefore, the adjective has to also be majroor. Is that clear, everyone? So, هذا الكتاب kabiru. Ibrahim, that is not correct. That is not correct. I will come to it. We'll come to it in a bit, inshallah. We'll come to it in a bit. But you're close. You're close, Ibrahim. We learned last lesson, right? هذا الكتاب. Yeah. What's the difference between هذا الكتاب and هذا كتاب? What's the difference between the two? In terms of meaning, what's the difference between the two? Yes, definite and indefinite. But in terms of the translation, what's the difference? Ooh, Saif is getting somewhere. MashaAllah, Saif, you're nearly there. Asra got correct. This meaning is this book, right? However, in any grammatical structure, when I say this book, the sentence is not complete. So if I say to someone, this book, naturally they would reply and say, this book what? What about the book? So sentence, I'll write NC because it's not complete. So it requires something to be complete. So I'll write, just for the sake of, just for the sake of ease and making it clearer, I'll write Kabir. هذا الكتاب كبير. Now the sentence means this book is big, right? However, هذا كتاب. This is a complete sentence. This is a book. That's a complete sentence. You don't need any more information from me. This is a book. However, if I now put kabirun here, this has now become an adjective. That's right, A for adjective. Why? Because it follows the 4 rules that we've said. However, in this example, the first example, it doesn't follow it doesn't follow on from the 4 rules. Because al-kitab has al. A kabirun here does not have al. Therefore, we can no longer say that's an adjective. If it's not an adjective in that sentence, what is it? It's called a khabar, but I've left that out on purpose because I feel like that's something a bit more difficult to explain in a class like this. But that's basically, my point is it's no longer an adjective. Yeah. So the second sentence, translating again, it will be this is a, rather than saying this is a book, this is a big book. Whereas the first sentence now, this book is big. Here is the differentiator, like as in, we said in the first lesson, there's no word for is or are. This is a way of understanding there's a difference. Like for example, if I say al-kitabu kabirun, there's no hadha in it. I say al-kitabu kabirun. The fact that the first word has al and the second word doesn't have al, this shows there's like a, as in the 2 words are separate and the word is or are is between them. So as you can see here, in the first example, or the first line, sorry, هذا الكتاب, this book, and then I put the line in the middle, is, and then in kabir, this book is big. Again, don't worry about the specifics. I'm just giving you extra information, but this is just more for the sake of understanding the adjective and essentially, pointing, understanding how it looks like in a sentence. Now, yeah, this first sentence, exactly, Madam, you got it exactly correct. They're both complete sentences now. Okay, so that is na'at and man'ud. This is adjectives. طيب. Should I add another example? I'll leave it, inshallah. Let's make it simple. Okay. The next major thing in today's lesson is the word alladhi. Alladhi. Alladhi can have various meanings depending on the context of the sentence. It can mean that, it can mean which, it can mean who. But how is this used? This is used to, so in English, right, we have something called a main clause and a subordinate clause. In a subordinate clause, you usually have extra information about the main clause. Now, if I also say to you in English, I like that book that has XYZ inside it. I'm gonna repeat one more time. I like that book that has XYZ in it. The second time I said that, that's to connect the first part of the sentence with the second part of the sentence, right? The second part of the sentence is not necessary. I don't need to add that. That's just more information regarding the book I like, for example, right? That is what we're talking about. That second that connector that we need to basically add on extra information. But first time I said that, that's a complete different word in Arabic, because remember we said هذا means this, ذلك means that. What's the difference between ذلك and الذي? ذلك is more about when you're pointing towards something or you're referring to something, whereas الذي is more to, you use it in order to give more information to whatever the subject of the sentence was, or whatever this, whatever you're talking about in that sentence. So let's write an example. هذا كتاب, or no, let's write ذلك كتاب الذي على المكتب. ذلك كتاب الذي على المكتب. That is a book that is on the desk. Yeah, that's what ذلك means. Book that, or I can say whichever one you prefer. If saying which makes it more easier for you to understand, then use which. One. Right? Is that clear so far? That's how we use alladhi. Any questions about alladhi? Obviously, I'll just add one more small thing. In English, we use that, the word that, in so many different contexts without realizing how it's used, without understanding the, in Arabic, every single kind of, you could say, intent in sentence requires a specific word, whereas in English, we have one or two words that has, various meanings, and we use it in so many different contexts. طيب, if there's no questions, let's move on to the next one. Okay. The next one next rule we're gonna cover is essentially lam, this li. This li is a harf al-jar. So if it's a harf al-jar, that means the next word will be majroor. Yep, that's number one. Number two, what is the meaning of li? The meaning of li can be either for, it's meaning number one, or number two, it can have the meaning of belonging to. So I'll give an example. هذا الكتاب لمحمد. This book belongs to Muhammad. Or this book is for Muhammad. You can use both. And that's essentially li. Or instead of saying Muhammad, we could say lil mudarris. Lil mudarris, for the teacher. So this book belongs to the teacher, or this book is for the teacher. Will kitab carry al in that sentence to make it specific? That's up to you. If you said هذا كتاب لمحمد, you could say this is a book for Muhammad or belonging to Muhammad. Or if you say هذا الكتاب, then it's up to you. Yeah. طيب. And the last major, I think we've done the, perhaps, wallahu alam. But I believe this is one of the key rules that we need to take from this lesson. And the last major rule for this lesson is عند. عند is a ظرف المكان, and it acts as a مضاف. Keep that in mind. It acts as a مضاف. It has the meaning of with or to have. So if I'll say ana means I, عند المدير. أنا عند المدير. I am with the mudir. Now, عند has a connotation behind it of temporalness or temporality. As in, if I'm saying أنا عند المدير, that means I'm temporarily with the head teacher. It doesn't mean I'm going to permanently be with him. However, if I was to say لي قلم, لي, using this, right? Oops, that should be like that. Li, this means I have, right? This means I have, but this comes from this harf al-jar. Li, I have or I own. I have a book. Yeah. So look, li. So remember, as we said, li can have the meaning of belonging to. This one also has the meaning of not belonging to, but to have, to own something, right? Li can be used to explain something that you have permanently. For example, if I say li akhun, I have a brother, I cannot say to me, I cannot say indi akhun. Indi akhun means you can't use indi akhun because inda is again something that you own temporarily or it's not there forever. Don't worry about the details. We're going to come more onto it, I think, in the next lesson anyways, when this construct comes up. I think it should come up in the next lesson or the lesson after. Okay. Now let us go back to the lesson, inshallah. Lesson 9. Sorry, why did you write mudaf next to it? The reason why I wrote mudaf next to it is because it acts as a mudaf. Therefore, the next word has to be mudaf ilayhi. So as you can see, I said, ana inda al-mudiri. So the mudir was the mudaf ilayhi. Is that clear? Brother asked, or someone asked, what's the difference between ma'a and inda? Okay, let's go through that actually. That's a good question. Ma'a and inda. What does ma'a mean? Ma'a means with. Huwa ma'i. If I say huwa ma'i, he is with me. Or we also said inda means to have something or to be with. The difference between ma'a and inda is used, like I said, in temporal contexts. Whereas ma'a is to show that there are two physical entities with each other. So huwa ma'i, when I say huwa ma'i, is giving the connotation of there's someone with me or that entity is with me. So ma'a is more used when you have two entities together doing whatever task they're doing. Whereas inda is just, it gives the understanding that, okay, he is with him and probably sometime in the future he's going to leave him. Whereas ma'a doesn't give that kind of understanding. Ma'a just means, okay, there's two physical entities together, or one physical entity is with the other physical entity. That's the difference. طيب. Hope that answers your question. Okay. And also both of them act as mudaf. Keep that in mind. Before we start, any other questions? Yalla. Okay, let's start. So the first part of lesson 9, this indicates that there's two parts of lesson 9. So this is the first part. Looking at the first sentence. Okay, does alladhi also mean those or does it mean who? Yes. Depending on how you want to use it, you can give those meanings as well. If you understand it like that, no problem. Okay, come back to our lesson. Man hadha ar-rajulu. Man hadha ar-rajulu. This sentence means, who is this man? Correct. And here you have al. And we said, if, for example, man wasn't there, it would mean this man, right? However, now that man is here, right, we have to say, hadha rajulun, as in the alif lam now has to be there. We can't say, man hadha rajulun. That does not make any sense. Because when you say man hadha rajulu, you're referring to someone. But when you say rajulun, rajulun can mean any man. Who is this a man? That doesn't make any sense, right? So in this line, you have to say man hadha rajulu with the alif lam on the rajul. So who is this man? That's number one. Or that's sentence number one. طيب. Number two, huwa Abbas. Huwa means he, or it can mean it, but in our sentence it means he. So he is Abbas. طيب. Abbasun. Okay. Line number three. Abbasun tajirun. Abbasun tajirun ghaniyun. What does this mean? Given what we've learned today, what do you guys think this means? Or this just that sentence means? Not the second part, just the first part. Correct. It means Abbas is a merchant. But we learned about adjectives today. So why do we not say merchant Abbas? Why don't we say that, merchant Abbas, in a descriptive context? Why don't we treat it as Na'at al-Man'ud? Why are we treating it as Abbas is a trader? I'm not sure if everyone understands my question. It's like saying, I'm saying to you, oops, let's just say Ar-Rajulu Tajir, right? That's what we would usually say, the man is a businessman. But here, there's no Al here. And so we just have Abbas. So doesn't this follow the four rules? Why not? Why doesn't it follow the four rules? Yeah, Saif. Adjectives come after the subject. That's correct. Khalil, mashallah. Perfect answer. That's exactly what I was looking for. Abbas has within the, when you say Abbas, you're talking about someone you know. So by default, the name is known. Yani Al is already embedded within the name, because as in is embedded within the context, because we know who Abbas is. If I say Rajulun, it can be any Rajul. Because we're saying Abbas, we know who we're talking about. Therefore, Al you could say is there, even though it's implied essentially. Hence why we say Abbasun is a trader rather than making it Na'at and Man'ud. However, in this part, we clearly have Na'at and Man'ud. Abbas is a rich trader. Ghaniyun means rich, obviously. Now, Ghani is an adjective for Tajir. So Abbas is a rich merchant. طيب. Is that clear, everyone? Any questions? No? Okay, طيب. Go to the next line. Hamidun mudarrisun. Hamid is a teacher. Next line. Hamidun mudarrisun jadidun. Jadidun is an adjective for mudarris. So Hamid is a new teacher. Hamidun is a new teacher. Can you please react it? Shifa, repeat. Which one? What would you like me to repeat? Okay, while you type that question, I'm going to go on to the next line. Ma hadha. Ma means what? Hadha means this. Ma hadha, what is this? This line means what is this? Okay, going back to your question, Shifa. Abbasun tajin. Okay, let's quickly go over this again. Just going over this line one more time. Right? As we said, Abbasun, because Abbasun is a name, Al is already implied. Yani Abbasun is definite because we know who we're talking about. So in Yeah. So al is, you could say, is already there. However, tajirun does not have al, as we can see. It doesn't have al. Therefore, tajirun is not an adjective for Abbas. Keep that in mind. It's not an adjective. That's number one. However, ghaniyun is an adjective for tajirun. Why? Because it follows the four rules. Right? Ghaniyun doesn't have al, tajirun doesn't have al. Ghaniyun is marfu, tajirun is marfu, and so on and so forth. They're both masculine, etc., etc. I hope that makes it more clear, Shifa. Just type in the chat if you've understood it or not. If you haven't understood it, inshallah, well, like I said, I'll, like in the previous lessons, I'll wait at the end of the lesson and we can go through it again. Okay, so come back to our line, next line. هذا تفاح. تفاح is an apple. So this is an apple. طيب. Okay. Next line. التفاح فاكهة لذيذة. فاكهة means fruit. لذيذة means delicious. So this is the apple, as we know. لذيذة is an adjective for فاكهة. They're both feminine. They're both marfu. They're both singular. And they both don't have al. So لذيذة follows on to be an adjective of فاكهة. So the apple is a delicious fruit. All right. All right. ما ذلك. Oops. What is that? ذلك عصفور. عصفور is this bird right here, sparrow. That is a sparrow. Next line. العصفور طائر صغير. طائر means bird. صغير means small. So sentence means the sparrow is a small bird. صغير is an adjective for طائر. Yeah, because obviously it follows on with the rules, the four rules. طيب. العربية لغة سهلة. العربية is Arabic, of course. لغة means language. سهلة means easy. So the sentence means Arabic is an easy language. سهلة is an adjective for لغة. طيب. Again, العربية لغة جميلة. The only thing new here is this word. Jamila means beautiful. So Arabic is a beautiful language. Again, Jamila is an adjective for lugha. Okay. Next line. Ammar talibun mujtahidun. Ammar is actually, I'll leave it to you guys. What do you guys this sentence means? I'm just gonna write down. Mujtahid means hardworking. Oh, mashallah, safe quiet. Ammar is a hardworking student. Alhamdulillah. Next line. Wa Mahmudun talibun kaslan. Kaslan means lazy. Now there's something about this word we'll need to cover, but we'll get to it, inshallah. But Mahmoud is a lazy student. Kaslan is an adjective for talib. Keep that in mind. Even though you see one dhamma there, but talibun has two dhammas. The main point is though, they're both majroor. So it doesn't matter how many dhammas they have. If they're both majroor, then it follows on from the four rules. Now, let's look at the word kaslan. Kaslanu means lazy. I'm going to give you some more examples of these kind of words. Jaw'an means hungry. Ta'ban, tired, for example. even though these words do not end, so these words, first of all, actually, they cannot have tanween, as you can see, but they are still marfu. All of these words are marfu, even though they don't have tanween. Hence why here, as you can see, talibun has two dhammas, but because these words cannot have tanween, but they are marfu, they still act as an adjective for talib. So you might come across some of these kind of words. طيب? Okay. Is that clear, everyone? I hope so. Next line. Man anta. Who are you? Next line. Ana talibun. I am a student. Next line. A anta talibun jadidun. Remember, don't forget this. If whenever you see an like that at the beginning of a sentence, it makes a sentence into a question. So, are you a new student? This is an adjective for talib. So, are you a new student? Answer is na'am. Ana talibun jadidun. Yes, I am a new student. طيب. And that the first part of lesson 9. Is there any questions? No questions? Okay. I'm gonna what's ta'ban? Is it tired? Yes, ta'ban is tired. Excuse my very bad handwriting. Ta'ban, yeah, tired. I'm gonna assume everyone has the same PDF that I have. So in that case, the exercises, as you can see, they have the instructions are there in English. So I'm not going to explain them because I'm assuming obviously you have this document. If you don't, you have to let me know. Please let me know so I can explain it and go through it with you. But every time you see this one, iqra waktub, whenever you see that, please, the homework is not just read and write. For me, it's read, write, and translate. For me, that's very key, very, very key, and it will help you. It will be very beneficial for you because it will help you remember the vocab. Okay, so I'm gonna skip past all this because obviously it's there in English, and you can do it. Okay, brother said I don't. So to that brother who said I don't have it, I'm gonna ask you. You found this link from Al-Arqam, right? They have the resources, they have this PDF. All you have to do is message them, or I think on the broadcast that goes out, they send a link of the resources there as well on that broadcast. Or if you can't even do that, go to lqtoronto.com and you can find the PDF there. Inshallah. Yeah, the sister just confirmed what I said. Okay, alhamdulillah. طيب. Okay, that's the first part. Now the second part of lesson 9. All right. Line 1. أين المدرس? Where is the teacher? أين المدرس? Where is the teacher? Next line. هو في الفصل. هو في الفصل. He is in the classroom. Now I will add, fasl is not really used as to give the meaning of classroom a lot. Usually fasl is usually used to give the meaning of splitting something, but I've only seen in Madinah book where fasl is used with the translation or the meaning as a classroom. So that's just something to keep in mind. But however, yeah, so whenever you see fasl in Madinah books, it means classroom, but generally speaking, in any other book, it will have a very different meaning. Next line. وأين المدرس الجديد? جديد. First thing I see about جديد, this is an adjective for مدرس. Why? Because it follows on from the 4 rules. So where is the new teacher? جديد means new. Where is the new teacher? مدرس means teacher. Okay. Next line. هو عند المدير. The meaning is he is with, so he with Mudir means like headmaster or head teacher. That's right, head teacher. Again, excuse my handwriting. All right, I'll try to rush. But inda here, like I said, it gives a very temporal meaning. So it doesn't mean that the teacher is going to be with the headmaster for the whole day or something. It just means he's with him, he's going to leave him soon. Next line. أين الطالب الجديد? Where is the new student? So again, al-jadid is an adjective for talib. Okay, next line. ذهب إلى المكتبة. I'm not sure if this is the first time we've encountered a noun, or not a noun, a verb. ذهب is a verb. I believe this is the first time we've encountered a verb. Someone can correct me. But yeah, ذهب means he went. He went to the maktaba. Maktaba does not mean desk. Maktaba means library. This term marbuta literally changed the meaning. When you say maktab, desk. When you say maktaba, now it means library. Just a term marbuta changed the meaning completely. So he went to the library. Now, just to say something about dhahaba, let's quickly go back to dhahaba. Dhahaba is a past tense verb. Past tense verb. Keep that in mind. Every verb we're going to see, except one verb in this book, will be past tense verbs. And you'll see a common trend with all past tense verbs is that they have 3 letters. And they have the fatha, 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 or fatha, kasra, fatha, or fatha, dhamma, fatha. And you'll always see this, you'll always see this. And you'll see the 3 letters with past tense verbs. It's a very common trend you'll see. And so the second verb in this entire chapter is kharaja, as you can see. Fatha, fatha, 3 letters. That's a good indication of it being a verb. Actually, let me add one more thing about verbs. Very important. As we're learning about verbs, but we're going to focus mainly on the past tense verbs. The ones we've seen so far. I'm going to use a different verb. I'm going to use daraba, very commonly used. Daraba means to hit. Whenever you have a verb, you require 3 things. 3 things, yeah? You require the verb itself, of course. You require the doer of the verb. The doer is the fa'il. Fa'il, yeah? And the last component, you don't always need this. Keep that in mind. You need these 2 definitely, whereas the last one you do not need is the victim of the verb. I'll give you an example very soon. It is the maf'ulun bihi. Maf'ulun bihi. Yeah. Now, daraba is that verb that it requires a victim. Because, for example, if I was to say, Khalidun went to the mosque, right? In Arabic, I'll say, ذهب خالد إلى المسجد. So it doesn't have a victim. Whereas daraba requires a victim. So I'll say, ضرب زيد خالدا. I'll write this down, show you. But essentially, what I'm trying to say is that not every verb requires a victim. So let's use daraba as an example. زيد خالدا. One thing to know about the doer is always marfu'. The doer has to be marfu'. That's the way we recognize that it's the doer, it's the fa'il. And the victim is always mansub. That's how we recognize that it's the victim. Now, clearly from the sentence, ضرب زيد خالدا, Zayd is marfu', Khalidan is mansub. Therefore, we know the victim is Khalid, Zayd is a doer. So if daraba means to hit, Zayd hit Khalid. But if I was to reverse that, and I say like this, daraba Zaydan Khalidun, now it's completely reversed. Khalid hit Zayd. simply because of the change of harakat, change the meaning completely. This is why states understanding the function of a state in a word is very important, because it changes the meaning completely. Even though the words are in the same place, just by changing the state, you change the meaning of the entire sentence. Okay. Now imagine sometimes you might come across, you see dhahaba used, but you don't see a doer, right? That's because the doer has already been mentioned before, or it's already implied within the sentence. And we'll see that in today's lesson. So here you can see in this line, right? ذهب إلى المكتبة. Where is the doer? The doer usually the doer always comes after the verb, but because we have already mentioned like the person we're speaking about, يعني الطالب الجديد, that's why in this line, the line that we're talking about, ذهب إلى المكتبة, the doer is not mentioned again, because we already know from the sentence, the context of the sentence, that he's a doer. Okay, let's go to the next part of it. So in Arabic, the victim can come after doer. Yes, the victim can come after doer. All right. من ذلك الرجل من ذلك الرجل الطويل الذي خرج الآن من المدرسة. الآن means now. خرج means to leave. Another thing to bear in mind, a fa'il, a doer of a verb, has to always come after the verb. It's a very important rule. Even though sometimes you might not see it, but it comes after the verb. Okay, anyways, come back to the translation of the sentence. Who is that tall man? Oops, that's man. Tawil is tall. Tawil is an adjective for rajul. Man ذلك الرجل الطويل. Who is that tall man? الذي. Who? In this context, I think who would be the best translation. Who left now from the school? One more time. Who is that tall man who left now from the school? Yeah. Is there any questions about that sentence? No? طيب, if there are, I'll move on to the next line. Sarah just mentioned it. هو المدير الجديد. هو المدير. He is the new head teacher. Again, جديد is an adjective for mudir. He is the new head teacher. Bear in mind, this is not هذا. So it's different. We're saying هو. Because if هذا was there, it would change the sentence structure very differently, which we mentioned at the beginning of the lesson. Okay, next line. ومن الولد الصغير الذي خرج الآن من الفصل. ولد means boy, young boy. صغير is small. صغير is also an adjective for ولد. So who is the small boy, الذي, who left from the classroom now? Class means class. Who is the small boy that left the classroom now? Or who left the classroom now? Okay. Next line. Who? Okay. This is the Hamzatul Wasl. So listen carefully to what I say now. هو ابن المدير الجديد. That's the correct way of saying it. However, if someone said هو ابن المدير الجديد, that's fine as well. But it's not in line with tajweed. That's not how you say it. If you saw an instance like this in the Quran, you do not mention the Hamzatul Wasl. But of course, in Arabic, if you're just having normal day-to-day conversation and you say هو ابن المدير الجديد, no problem. No problem. So anyways, هو ابن المدير subhanallah, مدير الجديد. He is the son of the he is the son of the new head teacher. Yeah, he is the son of the new head teacher. So Jadid is an adjective for Mudir. And Ibn means son. So Ibn is a mudaf, Mudir is mudaf ilayhi, Jadid is an adjective to that mudaf ilayhi. So he is the son of the new head teacher. SubhanAllah. Okay. طيب. Next line. Look here. Li. Harf al-jar li. Now this harf al-jar, remember we said it makes the next word majroor. And in this sentence, the next word after li is man. So man is majroor. Even though we do not see the kasra or the kasratain, the word is majroor. So that's why you won't see sayyar, you won't see sayyarati, you won't see sayyarati, you won't see tilki. Even though you don't ever have tilki, it's always tilka no matter what. That's why man is now majroor. Okay. So sentences liman tilka sayyaratul jamila. So someone translate this for me. لمن تلك السيارة الجميلة. أحسنت, both of you got it correct. You could say whose is that beautiful car, or you could say who does that beautiful car belong to. Both are correct. All right, next line. هي للمدير الجديد. هي للمدير الجديد. It belongs to the new head teacher. Again, adjective for mudir, or you could say it is for the new head teacher. Same thing. All right, next line. لمن هذا الكتاب الكبير. Whose is this big book, or who does this big book belong to? Say both. هو للمدرس. Does it belong? Is it for the teacher, or does it belong to the teacher? You can say both. Remember, this makes it into a question. Okay, next line. لا هو للطالب الجديد. No, it belongs to the new student. Again, li. لا هو للطالب الجديد. No, it belongs to the new student. أين الملعقة الصغيرة؟ ملعقة الصغيرة. أين الملعقة الصغيرة؟ ملعقة means spoon. صغيرة means small. Therefore, and صغيرة is an adjective for ملعقة. Where is the small spoon? Can you say it is for the new student? Yeah, you can say that as well. You can say it is for the new student as well. You can, yeah. All right. هي في الكوب. Why does it have a lam after li? I'll come back to that question, Mariam. هي في الكوب. Here, it is in the kub. Kub means this, which is cup. So it is in the cup. Now come back to Sister Mariam's question. Why do we say huwa lil or lit talib al jadidi? Imagine I say as-sayyara. As-sayyara with alif lam at the beginning. However, I now want to attach the harf jar li. When I attach the harf jar li, I'll just write it down just to make it clear. Sayyara, yeah. When I want to attach this li, right, I have to get rid of this hamzatul wasl. So now this attached to that lam there, and that's why we say lis sayyara or lit taliba, etc. Tamam. Next line. أين الكرسي المكسور. Maksuru means broken, and maksur is also an adjective for kursi. So where is the broken chair? أين الكرسي? Where is the broken chair? And lastly, هو هناك. هناك means over there. If someone would say huna like this, huna would mean here. But when you say hunak or hunaka, it means over there. So the translation of the last line would be it is over there. Tamam. And that is essentially lesson 9. and the rest tamarin, and inshallah that is all homework. Any questions, brothers and sisters? Also, one person told me that a lot of the vocab can be found at the bottom of this document. So if you're right to the end of this document, for every lesson, they have they have this, but in English. All the new words, they write down in English at the bottom of this document, right at the end. That's just some fa'idah for you guys. Any questions, brothers and sisters? If there's no questions, then we'll conclude the lesson here. I'll just give 30 seconds. Put down any questions. أميس تفضل أو تفضلي. Ask a question. When will this lesson be uploaded onto YouTube? Inshallah, should be uploaded within 15 minutes of the end of the lesson, inshallah. What does Yaban have al on it, but America doesn't? The answer to that question is, that's just how it is, subhanallah. That's just how it is. It's like Al-Hind, or you can say Hind as well, but Al-Hind, Al-Yaban, Al-Sin, they're just like, that's just how it's been, passed on. Because America is America. Like, for example, you have the word Pakistan as well. Pakistan, we say Pakistan, but in Arabic, there's no pa. So you say Bagistan, but you don't say Al-Bagistan, you just say Pakistan. And Bagistan is a new word. America is also a new word in the Arabic language because they've only come about within the last couple of centuries. Pakistan, obviously, within the last century. So some of these words have al, some of them don't, Mohammed asked, what's the difference for hal and for questions? There is a technical answer to this. Although in general, you would say hal and have the same meaning, as in they do the same thing. However, hal is generally used for questions that are not open-ended. It's just for yes or no type of answers, or like binary answers. Whereas you can use it for any type of question. So that's a technical thing. However, in reality, in terms of usage, they're both used in the same context. It's just general usages. Okay, can bab mean gate as well as door? No, bab cannot mean gate. There is a separate word for gate, which I need to check up. It's bawab, I think, for gate. Any other questions, brothers and sisters? طيب. I'm not seeing any more. خلاص. In that case, let us conclude the lesson here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بارك الله فيكم. May Allah keep you guys steadfast, inshallah.